In darkness I lingered mid doubt and despair, since bondage long held me a captive to care. But Jesus delivered my soul from its chains. His precious blood cleansed me from sin's guilty stains. The world and its pleasures did tempt me to stray. I saw not the danger that lurked on the way. The toils closed around me, I knew no release. But Jesus has found me and given me his peace. Get right with God, his pardon is free. Get right with God, he's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is calling, oh come unto me. Take him, O sinner, and get right with God.
Hello. I just wanted to share my experience so far in the country. And as a minority, there are, and there always will be, some challenges. But I want to share a testimony out of this. But first, I want to start off with this verse in Psalms 119, verse 165, where it says, "Great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them." And so, just recently, actually, I was speaking with a lady. We got better acquainted more and more when you come near the area to visit my neighbor. She asked me the question, "What do I study?" And I told her I studied naturopath. And right away she said, "Oh, it's not recognized here. Because when you come to our world, you have to start all over your studies all over again." I didn't say anything. And then I told her, "Well, actually, I'm born here. I'm born here in Quebec." We spoke in French the whole time. And I said, "Oh, actually, I'm born here in Quebec. And I studied here in Quebec. And it's recognized here as well." And he said, "Oh." Her eyes widened, her mouth dropped. And then she asked me, "So what else do you do?" I said, "I also studied tutoring, and I did my certification in TESOL. So I teach French students English." And she said, "Oh." And then she asked, "What else do I do?" And I told her, "I'm also an author." And her eyes just widened even more. I guess she assumed that because of the color of my skin, that I automatically an immigrant, I just came and so forth. Not that there's nothing wrong with those who are immigrants. In fact, many immigrant friends that I have, that I know, are really advanced when it comes to pursuits. Many of them are entrepreneurs. When they come here, they end up being entrepreneurs. They're very successful in their business. And they studied here. And they're very determined. So I do respect those who do come to North America, how hard they really work to achieve their goals. When there's many of us who are born in North America are not doing anything with their life. There are some who, live an idle life and depend on, different things. But in any case, just to continue, then she asked me the question, "Where's your car?" Because if you remember my last testimony, I did not share with you how I moved by faith, but also I moved without a vehicle. But God solved that. We have a Father who owns 1,000 hills. He owns this whole universe. So the Lord allowed that I was able to have my vehicle delivered to me. And I have a vehicle. So when I told her, oh no, actually I have a vehicle. And she said, where? And it's just right over there. Oh no, that's so-and-so's. I said, oh no, that's actually my vehicle. It's an SUV. And she just didn't say anything from that time forth. When I realized, when people have this misconception of Black people, it's because it's what the media portrays quite often. Sometimes even it could be a bad experience that they may have had with someone of color. It could also be the education, the way they were raised. They weren't associated with people of color. They don't know, so they associate the majority like that. They associate, people of color or Black people, for example. They're very emotional and they get all, antsy and all these things, and violence, or living in ghetto areas or low-income areas, or, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. There are people of color who are educated, civilized, who are entrepreneurs, and so forth. But how should we respond as Christians? Should we be angry? And no, of course not. Because in Proverbs 15, verse 1, it says, a soft answer turns away wrath. And the verse I just read earlier, great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. And so I genuinely started to build an acquaintance with them, and I really appreciate them a lot. And I let her know that. She knows that. And when she got to understand who I was and what I do, and so forth, things were a little different. But in any case, I ask that you keep her in prayer, because she's a precious soul. And if you're watching this video for the first time, and you may be struggling with, judging, because, the Bible says in Matthew 7, verse 1, judge not lest you be condemned, or judge not lest you be judged, right? We don't realize this, but it's often said that Christians are judgmental. But there's also others who may not be Christians who are judgmental too. And when we racial profile, or when we assume because of the color of the skin, they probably don't get by, or they are low income, or they're not educated, and it's just on and on. They often equate that with Black people or people of color. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. There are even those of European who are low income and who are not educated. So you have that in different race. But there is a sermon, a beautiful message that sums it up beautifully. It's called The Hidden Agenda Behind Racism by Ivor Myers. I will post the link below in this video. Powerful, powerful insight on the view of racism, because, when one struggles with that concept of, perhaps a problem with a certain race, it's actually they're hating their own race, because there's actually one race with many colors. If you look at a bouquet of flowers, when you look at the different leaves and the trees, even nature shows you diversity and color. And there's beauty in that. Wouldn't it be a boring world if you see one type of flower all over, one type of leaf, or colors, it'd be quite boring. But I thank God that we serve a God of creation who demonstrated through nature alone that there is beauty in diversity. And I see throughout those remarks, I see beautiful people that God died Jesus died for. And, all you can do is just do not react. Do not react emotional. Just respond with dignity, with confidence, and with the peace and mind of Christ. Also, she happens to smoke as well. So I told her, this is not a smoking area. So, and your lungs are very precious. I am strongly for the environment and for the health of others, including myself and yours. And they saw the genuine in my, like I said it with tears in my voice. It was not, that was like Christ in me speaking. And I told them, the last lady that I got acquainted with, actually, she smoked like a chimney. She had issues with smoking. And I don't judge those who are struggling with smoking. If you've seen this video and you happen to smoke, we're not judging you, because there's many reasons why you do that. It could be a struggle, or it could be something you went through. It could be pure pressure. It could be a habit that's hard to break. Whatever the case, just know that your lungs are precious, and it's toxic to the environment. And so we need to cherish the planet that we manage, because remember, this is not our world, but the world of the Creator. He created this earth. He's the owner of all the lands. We don't own nothing. Not white, not black, not Indian, not Asian. We're just managing this land, because this earth will soon perish anyway, and God will create a new heaven and a new earth, where there'll be no more sin, no more racism, no more any of these things. No more smoking as well, because we're going to live in a peaceful environment where there's no more hatred, no more toxins, and no more all these things, right? So anyways, I let them know. I smiled and I said, I would give you a hug right now. But they smiled and they said, okay, we can do a virtual hug. So anyway, that is that. That's just my testimony to say that, don't react negatively or hate someone because it may be perceived, or it may be even addressed, like it may sound racial. It also could be the fact, it could be a lack of understanding and upbringing as well. And they just have to get to know the person for themselves. And, it doesn't have to be that way. So anyways, if we all live this way, we could have heaven on earth. And I think people want peace, right? So at least let's make the best of it and bring a piece of heaven on earth until Jesus comes. So may God bless you. I hope this testimony blessed you. And if you're a minority and one of your concerns is moving to the country that you may be facing, look, in the fear of God, move forward. If God has led you, just go. God will take care of those things. In fact, he wants to use you as a witness to those who may not know him. So God bless you, and keep them in your prayers. Keep me in your prayers, and my son as well, and all those who are called by his name. So God bless you, and happy Sabbath. Bye-bye.
Get right with God, his pardon is free. Get right with God, he's waiting for thee. Our Jesus is calling, oh come unto me. Take him, O sinner,